Assalamualaikum girls. Today I'm going to start lecture from the topic of nutrients, water and dietary fiber. These are the topics which we have covered so many days ago. Today our topic is water and dietary fiber, and we'll also talk about balanced diet and the nutrients and the activity of people according to age, gender and activity. People who require energy according to their age or gender or activity level. So today I'm starting water and dietary fiber. We were studying about nutrients, so we are also studying about water and dietary fiber among this topic, but they do not play, they are not strictly considered as nutrients. Water and dietary fiber are not considered as nutrients strictly speaking. Both of them are very important in human diet, so we are studying them under this topic, water. So let's talk about water in detail. Water, as we know, makes 60% of our body. It makes 60% of our body content. I mean, many of the cells have aqueous environment. It's not like 60% of our body is made up of water and the rest of the 40 is made up of clay or whatever. But every cell has water and every cavity can have water. But overall, our body consists of 60% of water, which is very important because many life sustaining reactions or the reactions which are vital for the life are occurring in our body, and they require aqueous environment. Aqueous environment means that they do not take place without water. Many of the reactions require water for the reaction to proceed. They cannot take place in the dry environment, as you might have seen in chemistry lab, or you will study in chemistry lab, that many reactions require aqueous environment, otherwise they do not take place. Water is also very important as a solvent. We know that water is a universal solvent. Water can solubilize many chemical compounds, can solubilize majority of the things in it. So water is very important as a solvent too. And water is also required while elimination of waste from the body. For example, uric acid or urea, they cannot be eliminated from our body without water. I mean, 100% pure urea or uric acid it becomes difficult for the body to excrete them because it damages the living cells because of its strength. So water is required to dilute the content to make them less strong, and they can be excreted outside the body. Water is also a very important component for the maintenance of body temperature. I mean, our body temperature is 37 centigrade. It should not exceed or be below 36, 37 centigrade. So our body has a whole system to maintain temperature. Sweating is the way to lower the body temperature if it exceeds beyond 37 centigrade. And more energy is released if the temperature is less than 37 centigrade, 36 or 35 centigrade. So it is our body which is maintaining the temperature by the help of different chemicals and different reactions. Um, our body requires water in such a essential way that if our body is not going to have water, if it's our body is going to lose water, it's going to dehydrate, or if the dehydration is going to be severe, it can lead to cardiovascular problems. I mean, if a person is suffering from lack of water and the lack of water is severe, is person is not allowed to drink water for a lot of days, can suffer from severe dehydration and can even ultimately die because of cardiovascular problems. Sorry for stopping by. Actually, I haven't said. I don't know why I keep on doing that with the ninth class. um, ये आप लोग भी शायद इस तरह से कर रहे होगे कि रात के वक्त तो नींद नहीं आ रही और सुबह के वक्त डबल नींद आ रही है. And I don't know why it happens in with the ninth class that I sleep during the lecture. I'm really sorry. So, the sources of water are mainly from drinking water, but also from milk, juices, juicy fruits, and vegetables. We get water. The daily requirement of water is 2 liters per day. We can drink beyond 2 liters too, but the minimum requirement is 2 liters per day. So let's talk about this is the main points regarding water, that how much important it is for our body. Now let's talk about dietary fiber. Dietary fiber is also a part of human food, but is indigestible and is also known as roughage. Although there are two types of fibers, but still we call it as part of human food, which is indigestible, and we call it as roughage. It is only found in plants, and it mostly moves through the different parts of the digestive system, like it moves through the gut undigested. What I'm trying to say, it does not more mainly does not digest in our alimentary canal. Now, what is alimentary canal? Alimentary canal is a canal which starts from mouth and ends at anus. The digestive system's other name is alimentary canal. We can call it as mouth, pharynx, small intestine, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. This is a pathway of a alimentary canal. So we derived it from plant food and it moves undigested. But there are two types of dietary fiber, as you can see, insoluble dietary fiber and soluble dietary fiber. As the name shows, insoluble dietary fibers does not solubilize, does not digest, while soluble dietary fiber breaks down as it passes through alimentary canal. Insoluble dietary fiber travels quickly from our intestine, small intestine. Its sources are wheat, bran, cereals, and skin of many fruits and vegetables. Now, the insoluble dietary fiber added does not solubilize, it passes quickly from small intestine. While soluble dietary fiber, as the name shows, solubilizes, it breaks down as it passes through the alimentary canal. And the sources are oats, beans, barley, joe, beans, or barley, I think so, jawar, and many fruits and vegetables, skin or fruits have these soluble dietary fibers. All these fibers, soluble and insoluble, are utilized to relieve constipation. And so basically what happens in dietary, what is the rule of dietary, what is the function of dietary fiber? When you eat, it allows the contraction of our alimentary canal. It is the normal behavior of esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine to contract. I will tell you maybe in the next few lectures how the wave of contraction and relaxation is. The whole alimentary canal contracts in the wave form of contraction and relaxation, and so on and so forth. So, because of these contractions, when we feed on dietary fiber, it stimulates the food stimulates the contraction of intestinal muscles, and when the intestinal muscles contract, it allows the food to pass through the canal. It does not let it pass slowly in case of constipation. So I think I'm making it a bit difficult. What happens in constipation is कब्ज को कहते हैं. The muscles of small intestine does not contract properly, जिसकी वजह से the leftover of food or the food does not pass quickly from the intestine. It passes slowly, and as a result, the function of large intestine is to absorb water. So when the leftover of food is passing from large intestine slowly, very slowly, so large intestine will absorb extra water more than normal. Because of that, the leftover of food will become very hard and it will be difficult to expel it outside the body, which is called as constipation. It is because of stopping the contraction of intestinal muscles. Um, so when you are going to incorporate dietary fiber in your diet, it avoids constipation, which is a mother of many other diseases. So it will reduce the risk of many other diseases. This is one of the important factors of dietary fiber. Soluble fiber also lowers the blood cholesterol and sugar levels. You know, the bad sugar and bad cholesterol levels. This soluble dietary fiber reduces those bad cholesterol levels and sugar levels. And we can also, what happens in case of insoluble dietary fiber? Insoluble dietary fiber speeds up the movement of carcinogens from intestine. What are carcinogens? Cancer causing chemicals. So the insoluble dietary fiber which we take in our food speeds up the cancer causing chemicals out of our body. It removes those chemicals quickly from our body. So what is the function of insoluble dietary fiber? One was I told you, okay, it stimulates the contraction of small intestine and it avoids constipation, but it also speeds up the movement of carcinogens from our intestine. So this is what the importance of dietary fiber is. Insoluble. So, now the next topic is balanced diet. A balanced diet may be defined as the one which contains all the essential nutrients in correct proportion for the normal growth and development of our body. I mean, what is a balanced diet? That it should have all important nutrients in its balanced form for the growth of the people in the growing age and development of their body. In order to be healthy and fit, our diet should be balanced. It should have all nutrients. And a balanced diet is different according to person's age, gender, and activity. Female requirement is different from a male requirement. A person in old age has different requirement than a person in adulthood. A person who has is less activity requires less energy as compared to a very active person. So it should have all the variety of food, plus it should be according to our age, gender, and activity. If our age is increasing and our activity level is zero, it's going to be very harmful. I mean, we have to have a balanced diet, and we have to have a bit active life, not too much active, but we should be at least moderately active to consume less calories. Although the demand is more in active person, but that is spent also. So as a result, you store less energy. What I'm trying to say is that if you are active, you consume more, but it is mostly spent in daily chores. The energy is spent, so very less is left to store. Is very less calories are left by our body to store them in the form of fats. That's why a moderately active or an active persons are mostly thin. They are not obese. So there's a chart which will show common food taken in Pakistan and the percentage of nutrients. Look at the bread, rice, potato, apple, eggs, milk, butter, and chicken. The percentage of carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. अच्छा पहले भी I have told it to you that our food is not mainly, अगर हम bread को कहते हैं कि bread is made up of carbohydrates, rice is a source of carbohydrates, does not mean they do not have lipids or protein content. Mostly we say bread as a carbohydrate content. So see, it has more carbohydrates, but it also have lipids and proteins. So we do have our food have all these contents, but majority of the thing is carbohydrate. That's why we call it as source of carbohydrate, bread. And rice also have 43% carbohydrates and 0.1% lipid and 2.2% proteins. If you look at the potato, it is also a source of carbohydrates, 19%, lipid 0.1%, and proteins 2%. Look at the fruits, apple, 12.8% carbohydrates, 0.5% lipids, and 0.3% proteins. So apart from apple, let's look at eggs. Eggs is a source of carbohydrate, lipids, and protein, but mainly it is called as a source of proteins. But it is also a source of good lipids. See, इसमें fats भी हैं और proteins भी हैं, almost in equal amount. But it is known for as a source of protein. If you look at the milk has carbohydrates, lipids, and protein, nothing in excess. Milk is a source of lipids and proteins and vitamins. It's a source of basic energy. When you feed on milk, you get vitamins, you get carbohydrates, you get lipids and proteins to spend life on. Apart from milk, and let's talk about butter. Butter has 81% of fats and 0.6% protein and 0.4% carbohydrates. So let's look at the chicken. Now, chicken is a mainly source of proteins. 20% is proteins, 11% is fats. So we mainly call chicken as a source of protein. I have always said in exam, who is going to ask a question about this? But once I saw in exams of SSC Federal Board exam, I have seen chicken in the MCQs. Chicken as an example of, they asked the percentage composition of chicken, and I was shocked that I have to ask students to carefully learn these things too, or carefully consider what you're what you are studying and what the other person is studying. So you have to even consider the percentage content. You have to keep it in your mind. So today I'm winding up the lecture over here, and then I will start from this topic, relationship of balanced diet with age, gender, and activity, and onwards. Okay, Allah Hafiz for now on, because I need a cup of tea. Allah Hafiz.